Welcome back to CVM News at Noon. The newly established National Payments Company of Jamaica, NPCJ, is now the engine behind Jamaica's multi-billion-dollar roofs housing recovery program. Powered by WiPay, their digital payment system is currently rolling out multi-billion-dollar relief to roughly 68,000 households affected by Melissa. Here to discuss the rollout is Kibwe McGann, who's the country manager of the National Payments Company of Jamaica. Good afternoon, Mr. McGann.
Good afternoon. How are you? And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. So talk to us, first of all, how will it work? Walk us through an example. Say if I live in Westmoreland and I lost my roof, how does this program work for me?
So what would have happened right after Hurricane Melissa? The team from MLSS would have gone out into the field. They'd have done assessments on several properties. They'd have physically gone, done the assessment, and people would have fallen into one of four categories. The categories that WiPay is responsible for happens to be category 3 and category 4. Those are the people most affected. The category 3 people qualify for 200,000 Jamaican dollars, and category 4 qualifies for $500,000. So you would get a message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security say that you've qualified. And then from there, you'd get either a QR code or a text message. You may get both. And what that does is when you go to one of the participating hardware stores, they have one of our WiPay machines. And from our WiPay machine, they are able to scan that QR code. And that QR code then tells the hardware store that this person qualifies for $500,000 or $200,000. From there, the recipient, the grant recipient, they'll now be able to shop within the hardware store and take up to $500,000 or $200,000 of goods. You may ask, why not just give these recipients the cash? So in a previous pilot, the government tried that, and unfortunately, some people use the cash to do other things. One person in particular took a trip to Miami. But that's not the intention or the use of the funds. The whole idea is to rebuild. So the Prime Minister at the launch, he was very clear about what the funds were to be used. And he also shared that, MOCA would be doing secret assessments and checking if people redeemed the grants and actually started building on their houses. So MOCA will check with the hardware stores. They'll go back and check with, locations of people who collected. So how does that even happen? So we were challenged, with the question of how do we create a system that offers efficiency, visibility, and reliability in the space. So our machines actually speak directly to a dashboard that we have. And that dashboard, anyone in the ministry, anyone in the government, anyone from MOCA's side, they'll be able to look and see that John Brown redeemed $500,000 at this hardware store in St. Elizabeth. From that, they'll also be able to check that John Brown actually has material now building his house. And, and all of that is to circumvent the opportunity of fraud and just people trying to outsmart the system. So that's something that WiPay already does in several countries. We do that in Grenada, we do that in Trinidad, we do that in Barbados. So it was really about bringing this technology to Jamaica and ensuring that the funds designed to help rebuild and restore were actually used for that.
So is this what you guys term as a controlled digital voucher system, or is that something different?
Yes.
Oh, that is
completely. That is it. The QR code is really a voucher, so it's a text message. So for a person to redeem, they'd get that QR code on their phone or the text message. They go to the hardware store, the machine scans it, and then also the person will have to present their ID, a government-issued ID, whether their driver's license, national ID, passport, voter's ID. The machine takes a picture of that, and then the machine also, they hold up that machine and they also take a picture of the person collecting. So it's not like John Brown's friend or son or something found the phone, found the text message, runs to the hardware and tries to redeem that for themselves. No, because the hardware stores have been trained to take a photo using the same machine of the person collecting the grant.
No, Mr. McCann, we see where criminals are getting creative these days. So this seems like the kind of system where hackers might try to, get themselves involved or get their hands on. So how exactly would we, bearing in mind, by the way, that the security systems you say are in place, hackers always attack security systems looking for any little bit of vulnerabilities they can find and whatever ways they sometimes feel like they can succeed. How confident, though, are you that hackers can't get around your security system?
Well, the beauty about this, it's closed looped. So everything actually flows through WiPay. And just so listeners can understand, WiPay processes across the region billions of dollars daily. You have to think of WiPay much like your PayPal or your Stripe. And we have an entire team dedicated just to fraud management, mitigation, and protection. So this is something we do every day. This is like a walk in the park for us. So we do have our security controls embedded, and we do have a team that actively monitors this. But I mean, outside of that, this is closed loop. That is not something open and outside there in the world where you just jump online and find a way to hack in. No. So it's very protected.
God forbid, though, what happens if they actually do get past the system and manage to steal money? Who then bears that loss? Is it you or the government? When I say government, I mean us as taxpayers. Who bears that loss?
Well, I'll show you more than that. It would virtually be impossible because the money never actually moves until goods are actually taken. And for goods to be taken, your photo, your ID, all of that first has to be verified. So even if the hardware were to supposedly be working with somebody and gave someone the false goods, the question of it is whose photo is going to show up, whose ID is going to show up, whose TRN is going to connect all the dots. And once it don't match, then the government doesn't move that money over to the hardware.
Okay, I see. So is there some sort of trial period with a limited number of users to actually see how properly the system works?
We've already gone through that trial period. In fact, we started off with a trial group of 50. So we've already passed that. Since the official launch, we've probably redeemed somewhere in the region of about $25 million so far. The system was officially launched last Friday. And we're rolling it out slowly across the different parishes through the different partnered hardwares. So it's been tried, tested, and at this point proved. So I sharing with you that we've done this in Grenada, we've done it in Trinidad, Barbados, but we've worked with international organizations such as Food for the Poor, the UN, a lot of multinational NGOs.
And just before you go, talk to us. Do you believe that perhaps systems like these, similar initiatives like these, is the way to go when it comes to huge funding initiatives like this one? I mean, we're dealing with a multi-million-dollar initiative right here. Do you think that this system or similar systems is the way to go?
Yes, I was just sharing with you, it's multi-billion-dollar.
Multi-billion-dollar.
This particular intervention is somewhere in the region of $10 billion. So what I'll share with you, the short answer is yes. And we first rolled out the system during COVID. I mean, about 4 years ago, we'd have partnered similarly with the World Food Program and MLSS, the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, where we helped 28,000 people across the island and we distributed $4 billion. And it was used by a similar system. So lessons that we also learned from that have been applied. In addition to additional fraud measures, scamming measures, because one of the problems before then, even where people were trying to have, different people try to collect on their behalf.
Okay.
So the whole idea of having a whole camera system where we're taking a photo of you, taking a photo of your ID,
right.
All of that thing is to mitigate against it. So it has been
on that note, though, Mr. McGann, especially given the Jamaican context, and we're just about out of time, so 30 seconds.
Sure.
The pictures and all of that on the system, we have a lot of Jamaicans who are digitally hesitant when it comes to the online platforms and, the phones and the technology. How then do you ensure that the take-up is what you'd want it to be, and also that persons can easily navigate the system to achieve what it is that they want to achieve?
Well, the Prime Minister answered that question at the launch. He said, well, if you don't want your money, you can leave it. And that's what it is. If you don't want the $500,000 to rebuild your roof, you can leave it. So that answers that question.
All right. Thank you.